with another Pokemon Nuzlocke for you guys. This time, I'm going to be attempting Pokemon White version. If you don't know the rules to a Nuzlocke, I'm going to put them on the screen right now. And without further ado, here's my attempt at a Pokemon White Nuzlocke. First things first, I need to get my starter. And if you don't pick Tepig as your starter for Black and White, then what are you doing? Tepig is by far the best candidate to be my first team member. He can roll a ton of gyms in this run, and he can destroy all of Grimsley's team in the Elite Four. Once I get my Tepig, I beat Sharon and Bianca in a battle and move on to catch my first Pokemon. I end up catching a Lillipup on Route 1, which is the best encounter for that route. After I listen to some Team Plasma propaganda, I catch a Patrat on the next route, and this is really good for me. After all that happened, I go to the Dream Yard and get my free gift Pokemon, Pansage. He's an alright Pokemon with alright stats, but his main use will be for the Panpour in the upcoming gym. After I fight my rivals again, I make my way to the gym and try and get the Trio badge. This badge really isn't that difficult. In fact, it's so easy that I challenge it really underleveled. I easily kill the Lillipup with a combination of Tackle and Ember, and I even get him to waste his potion. Since I'm playing on set mode, the Panpour comes out immediately, and I'm forced to switch to Pansage. He, however, makes quick work of Panpour with Vine Whip, getting me my first gym badge of the run. Immediately after the battle, I'm alerted of Team Plasma's shenanigans. I go to stop them in the Dream Yard, and once they're stopped, I take a single step in the grass and get an encounter. That encounter was Munna. Munna is a really good early game Pokemon because I can have her fully evolved right after the second gym. After that, I obtain my C gear, battle Sharon, Team Plasma strikes again, and I make my way past them to get my next Pokemon, Roggenrola. Roggenrola's okay at best, and he can evolve to his final form. Thankfully, it doesn't really matter because I only need him to ensure that I can't get him later. I make my way to the next area where I can catch a Pokemon and end up finding a Blitzel. This is actually huge considering that in this generation, electric types are extremely hard to come by. Once I catch him, I finally end up in the next city. The gym in this city is a normal type gym, meaning my Tepig, who evolved into Pignite, can destroy this gym with Arm Thrust. I just have to make sure I don't go over the level cap and I don't lose any Pokemon along the way. Before I challenge the gym leader, I catch a Tympole, challenge N in front of the gym, beat all the gym trainers without going over the level cap, and get ready to challenge the second gym of this run. I lead with Pignite as she leads with Herdier. I hit 4 Arm Thrusts in a row as she takes herself out with a takedown. Since I took a ton of damage and she has the move Retaliate, I'm forced to switch into my Roggenrola. Roggenrola gets hit for minor damage on the switch, but I can't do any damage when I'm asleep, and I keep getting hit for more and more. I finally wake up as she brings me to 4 HP as I hit a Rock Blast, bringing her to a third. I switch Roggenrola out and bring in my Herdier, who immediately falls asleep. I then switch again and again to try and combat the sleep, but it's no use, and I decide to sack Roggenrola. After that, I set up a Leech Seed with Pansage and slowly finish off the Watchog, winning me my second badge of the run. I trudge past Team Plasma again and make my way to Castelia City. When I was in Pinwheel Forest, I caught a Petalil. I don't have the footage for that, but it doesn't help me in the run, so it doesn't matter anyways. This city really isn't that interesting because there's no encounters or important events other than me getting my XP share and me battling Team Plasma for the 1000th time in this video. After I finally get past them, I make my way to go challenge the third gym. I start the battle with Blitzel as he leads with Whirlipede. Since I have Flame Charge on Blitzel, Whirlipede dies to 3 of them as I only take a little damage. Dweble's next as he goes down to a Flame Charge and a few Seed Bombs from Simisage. I switch to Pignite and hit Levani with 2 Flame Chargers and win myself the third gym badge of this run. Right after the gym, I move up to Route 4 and fight both of my rivals. I take care of them both pretty swiftly as I try to get to Nimbasa City. Once I'm there, I chill out for a second and catch a ton of Pokemon. I caught a Minccino, Tranquil, Darumaka, Sandile, Yamask, and Trubbish. While I was going to get my fossil Pokemon, a trainer I encountered has a Sigilith. That Sigilith wipes the floor with my Blitzel, killing him in the process. A sad way to see him go, and just before his evolution. We should still be fine though, as long as I get a good nature from this Tortuga, which I don't. I get down attack, which is just the worst, and up special defense. Really? Blitzel's death hurts even more now, and I'm forced to start my grind and challenge the 4th gym of the run. I lead the battle with Sandile as she leads with Emolga. This, to be honest, was a really dumb plan because Emolga does a lot of damage. I have to switch out my Sandile after just 2 hits into Palpitoad. We exchange hits back to back to back, and she gets healed and I get confused by my own uproar. I'm then forced to switch out again into Musharna, letting the other Emolga switch out. I then hit her next Emolga really hard with Psybeam and almost kill it. I kill it with just one more Psybeam, and next up is her Emolga again. That Emolga switches out with Volt Switch into Zebstrika, who gets hit super hard with a Psybeam. My Musharna is left with 8 HP after a Spark, and I hit her Zebstrika into the red with a Psybeam. I switch into my Yamask so as not to be hit by the Quick Attack, and kill the Zebstrika with a Hex. I then hit her Emolga with an Ominous Wind, getting an Omni Boost. I should have just swapped, but I'm dumb and I lose my Yamask, ending the battle with my Pignite, getting me my 4th gym badge of the run so far. Once I'm done with one of the hardest gyms in the run, I beat my rival in front of the drawbridge and catch a Ducklet on that bridge. Ducklet is really useful, but his type of water and flying makes him really susceptible to electric type moves. After my Ducklet encounter, I move on to Route 6 in the cold storage, and in Route 6 I caught a Fungus, and in the cold storage I caught a Vanillite. Vanillite is honestly one of my favorite Pokemon, and it should help me a lot during the remainder of this run. He's got nice ice type moves and good access to HM moves. His major downside, however, is that he evolves really late. It should still be fine though, because he's kind of a good Pokemon. Once I finish all that, I make my way down to Team Plasma in the cold storage, beat them, and challenge the 5th gym. I lead the battle with Palpitoad and strike the Krookrock with a Muddy Water, killing him with one shot. Next up is Palpitoad, who hits me with a Bulldoze, lowering my speed as I kill him with 2 Muddy Waters. Excadrill is last, and I'm forced to switch out into Simisage, who does massive damage with Seed Bomb. Sadly, I'm forced to switch out because I took a ton of damage when I switched in. I then switch into Krookrock, who gets hit by a critical hit slash, killing him, but it gives me an easy win with a dig from Herdier, winning me my 5th gym badge of the run. Right when I leave the gym, I fight Bianca and I destroy her in a battle. After that, I make my way to Chargestone Cave where I'm let in and I find a Clink. Clink is a really amazing Pokemon. He evolves even later than Vanillux, but that's fine because he has such a good moveset and such a good typing to go along with that. Steel is just such a good type in this generation, and it can help me a ton when it comes to the Elite Four and when it comes to the rest of the game in general. Once I'm at a Chargestone Cave, I talk to Skyla, catch a Deerling and a Litwick, find Skyla again, and bring myself into the 6th gym. I lead the battle with Stoutland as she leads with Swoobat. I immediately kill the Swoobat with a Crunch as Unfezant comes in next. I hit Unfezant with 2 crunches, and he hits me with a critical hit Razor Wind in the process. And since I'm not sure if he's faster than me or if he's gonna heal, I decide to switch into Swanna. Skyla does decide to heal, and Swanna gets a free switch in. I decide to go for 2 Water Pulses as she heals with another Hyper Potion. I get one more Water Pulse off, but it kills with a critical hit, leading to her last Pokemon, Swanna. I didn't expect her Swanna to be faster than mine, but she is, and she hits me with a critical hit Aerial Ace, bringing me to 6 HP. I then use Fly, and since she's faster, she doesn't get the hit off before I hit my Fly. Once I hit my Fly, I'm forced to switch out again. This time I switch into Clink and use Charge Beam. Charge Beam does not kill and leaves the Swanna at 1 HP, and I'm forced to switch again because I was hit for a lot of damage. This, however, is the last switch as I switch into Vanillish and he kills the Swanna with a single Ice Beam, winning me my 6th gym badge of the run. I enter Twist Mountain after talking to Clay, and I have to figure out how to get through this place. It has some really hard trainers and some really good Pokemon in it. Before I fight those trainers though, I have to catch a Pokemon. That Pokemon ended up being Cubchoo. He can be useful in this run, but I seriously have my doubts. Next up is the hard trainers I was talking about. This particular trainer has a Sock who already has my Swanna low, so I have to switch her out into my Simisage who has Acrobatics. Right when I switched him, he gets hit for a good chunk, almost half, as I hit for a little less than that. On the same turn I hit him with Acrobatics, he uses Bulk Up. I should have switched out here and done literally anything else, but I'm stupid, and I use Acrobatics again, killing my Simisage. Now if you think that's stupid, then you haven't seen anything yet. Seriously, I honestly have no words for this next move, so I'll just let you watch. You have no clue how bad that hurts to watch a second time. That will seriously go down as one of my dumbest Pokemon moments ever. I end up finishing off the Sock and making it to Icarus City, and when I'm there, I catch a Druddigon in the grass, and remember that there's an encounter in Mystralian Cave. I go down to Mystralian Cave hoping for an Axew, but sadly, I get a Woobat. To make matters worse, the immediate encounter after Woobat was Axew. That was bad, but with all that done, I'm finally able to start my grind and get ready for the 7th gym. Now this gym's an ice gym, and it has a lot of weaknesses. I have many Pokemon that can totally abuse the system and ruin his ice-type Pokemon. This, in theory, should be the easiest gym in the run so far. Regardless, I start my battle for the 7th gym badge. I lead the battle with Emboar as he leads with Vanillish. Vanillish really isn't an issue because I one-shot it immediately with Flame Charge. Next up is his Beartic, and I use Flame Charge with Emboar, bringing him to half as I get hit with a Swagger. I hit myself in confusion on the next turn and get hit with a Brine, forcing me to switch. I then switch into Clang, who tries to use Flash Cannon, but he uses Swagger again and I hit myself. If I hit myself again and he uses Brine, he just kills me, so I can't risk that and I have to switch into Vanillish. I switch into Vanillish hoping I can get a lucky break, and I get the opposite, hitting the Beartic, but rather than killing him, bringing him to 1 HP. I know he's gonna heal, and I also know that Vanillish can't kill him with another 2 Flash Cannons without dying, so I switch. I really don't know what's wrong with me playing Pokemon today, but I decide to switch into my one-shot Emboar, wasting my free switch. I then again have to switch out, this time into Musharna, as he avoids a Hypnosis and he gets a Swagger off. I hit myself in confusion and go for another Hypnosis, which he avoids. I finally hit one when I'm at 3 HP, and in hindsight I should have just used Yawn, but it's way too late for that and I need to heal Musharna with Moonlight. On the next turn, Beartic wakes up after just one turn of sleeping and goes for a Swagger. I get through my first confusion of the day and hit him with Psybeam, doing a third. I start to go for Hypnosis again, but it doesn't matter because he hits me with an Icicle Crash and I kill myself in confusion. I'm then forced to switch into my Sawsbuck and go for a Jump Kick, bringing the Beartic to 1 HP again. He then destroys my Sawsbuck, killing it with a crit Icicle Crash. Since he decides to heal in the next turn, I get a free switch in again, and this time I move into Emboar, who kills with 2 Flame Charges. So much for that being the easiest gym battle. Next up is his Cryogenome, who I just one-shot with a Flame Charge, getting me my 7th gym badge of the run. After finishing the easiest gym in the run, I make my way to the next route to catch a Pokemon. This Pokemon ended up being Stunfisk, an electric type. So what do? I decide to switch in my water flying type Pokemon, Swanna, and get her killed. This was the worst day for Pokemon I've ever had. So after I lost my Swanna, I take a really long break and start the challenge up again later. I take a breather, and once I'm done, I deal with Team Plasma in the Desert Resort. Personally, I thought they were going to be a lot harder, but I deal with them with no deaths. Once I'm done with that, I fight Bianca for the final time in the run and absolutely destroy her. She doesn't take out a single one of my Pokemon, and I take out all of her Pokemon very swiftly. Once that's completed, I catch a Duosion in the grass, and I make my way to the final city of the run. This next gym is a dragon type gym, meaning it's going to be really hard to beat without a viable ice type. So, thankfully, I have 2 of those. But, sadly, they're both really slow, so it's going to be very hard for them to do anything against these dragons. Even just trying to get through the gym trainers proves challenging enough, as I lose my Beartic and I almost lose my Druddigon in the first battle. In order to get through this gym, I'm going to need a really good plan, and thankfully, I don't have one. My plan is just to go in and see what happens. With that all being said, I challenge the 8th and final gym of this run. I lead the battle with Reniculus as she leads with Fracture. Fracture dies to a one-shot from Reniculus because I equipped her with a Psychic Gem. Now, I seriously didn't expect her Druddigon to be faster than me, but he is, and he hits me really hard with a Night Slash. It does a lot of damage, but I'm allowed to do more with Psychic, and I bring him below half. I just have to hope that I don't get crit by another Night Slash, and I don't because now I'm faster than him. I don't know, maybe it's a speed tie, but regardless, I get a Psychic off and kill the Druddigon. At this point, I'm certain something's gonna go wrong. She sends in her Haxorus, and I'm really thinking about switching here. I get really scared he's gonna hit me for a lot of damage, so I go for an Endeavor. He decides to use Dragon Dance, so my Endeavor doesn't do that much damage. At this point, I'm almost 100% positive he's gonna kill me, so I decide to go for Psychic, hoping he kills me so I can switch into another Pokemon for free. I go for Psychic, and I'm faster than him. I end up killing him one shot with the Psychic, but I really don't know why I was faster than him. Please, if you know the answer, leave it in the comments below, because I'm actually legitimately curious. Regardless though, I'm extremely happy, and that ends up being my final gym badge of this run. After this gym battle, there are only a few things left I have to do in the game. I have a rival battle, Victory Road, and finally, the Elite Four. Their teams are really insane and hard to deal with. I'm confident though that if I keep my team alive throughout all the remaining battles, that I can win this challenge. First things first, I have a rival battle that I have to deal with. Sharon has actually a really good team for this level, and I challenge him under leveled. I didn't realize he had such a good team, so this battle kinda goes south. He leads the battle with Unpheasant, who I one-shot with Vanillish. Next up is Simesir, so I'm forced to switch out into somebody else, and for some reason, I switch out into Amoonguss and he gets hit, bringing him to 52 HP. A very dumb move on my part, but I decide to switch into Reniculus next, and I hit him hard with a Psychic, but I'm brought too low to hit him again, so I have to switch once more. I switch to Druddigon, and he takes him out easily with a Crunch. Next up in the chopping block is Lightbird, who I take out very easily with 2 Revenges. He does bring me low though, so when he sends out his Samurott, I'm forced to switch. I switch into my Clang and get hit for only a little bit as I go for Charge Beam in the next turn. It hits for a lot of damage, almost a third, as he fails his Encore. At this point, I kinda figured the battle was gonna go my way, but I was very mistaken, as I go for another Charge Beam and he hits me with a massive Aqua Tail. That Aqua Tail brings me to 39 HP as I hit him for only a little bit with Charge Beam. If I stay in with Clang, I'm going to get killed, so I have to switch out once more. This time I switch into Vanillish, and he is instantly brought to 18 HP with Aqua Tail. I switch into Druddigon, who gets hit immediately with an Aqua Jet, not doing much damage, but he's already low. I then get off a Dragon Claw as Samurott fails his Encore. That Dragon Claw brings him to 1 HP as I get hit with an Aqua Tail in the next turn, killing my Druddigon, leaving me with 5 Pokemon remaining. Emboar is not faster than Samurott, so I can't throw him out. I'm a bit choked up here because I do not know what I can do. I decide on my final option. I throw out Amoonguss. He has the ability Effect Spore, so if he gets hit by a physical attack, he gives the other Pokemon a random status condition. This is the only way I can beat this battle, so I have to hope for either Paralysis or for Sleep. Amoonguss goes out, he dies, and he gives Samurott Sleep. I then switch into Reniculus and finish off the Samurott with a Psychic, beating my rival. After my rival battle, I finally walk into Victory Road. While in Victory Road, I catch an Excadrill. Excadrill can help me a lot during the run because he has very strong stab moves and really strong moves just in general. While going through Victory Road, I have to battle a ton of hard trainers, and while I'm battling them, a lot of bad stuff happens. This first death happens when a Stoutland uses 3 consecutive retaliates. I assume that he's only going to hit me with a retaliate, so I just keep using my same moves. I then bring him to 1 HP as he hits me with a reversal, killing my Clang right before his evolution. This next death happens to my favorite Pokemon in the run, Emboar. While I'm battling, this Scrafty uses Scary Face, and he lowers my speed a ton. I then forget that he lowered my speed, and he brings in Menfu. Menfu then destroys my Emboar with one shot, killing him right before the Elite Four. Very soon after I finish that battle, I find my way in the Pokemon League. If none of my Pokemon died there, I would have had an easy Elite Four run, but sadly, I don't. I have to start my grind and get ready for the Elite Four, but first things first, I have to catch a Pokemon. This Pokemon is on Route 18, and it ends up being a Scraggy. Scraggy is a really good Pokemon, and he's really my only chance for the rest of this run. I've lost a ton of Pokemon within the last 3 gyms, and it's all coming back to bite me. I don't have a lot of Pokemon that can deal with the Elite Four and the battles after. I end up starting my Elite Four battles with this final team. I have a level 50 Vanillix, a level 50 Reniculus, 50 Chandelure, 50 Unpheasant, 50 Scrafty, and a 50 Excadrill. With that all being said, I finally make my first steps into the Elite Four. I start my Elite Four journey with Chantel. She leads the battle with Cofagrigus as I lead with Vanillix. I decide to go for an Ice Beam, and it does a half as he hits me with a Shadow Ball, and I kill with another Ice Beam in the next turn. Next up is Chandelure, and it forces me to switch into my Chandelure. I know that he's going to go for a fire attack, trying to kill my Vanillix, so it won't hit my Chandelure, so I have to switch into him. I then have to hope my Chandelure is faster than her Chandelure, and sadly it is not, and Chandelure gets one-shotted by a Shadow Ball. Next I switch into Excadrill, who one-shots the Chandelure with an Earthquake. Next up is her Golurk, and I decide to stay in with Excadrill and use Earthquake. I forget that he has Earthquake as well, and Golurk one-shots my Excadrill. This is going horrible as I use Ice Beam on Vanillix the next turn, killing the Golurk. She sends out her final Pokemon, Jellicent. I use Mirror Coat with Vanillix, doing half to her and forcing me to switch. I switch into Unpheasant and realize that Unpheasant can't do anything to Jellicent, so I then switch into Scrafty. Scrafty then kills the Jellicent with Crunch, winning me my first Elite Four battle. Before this Grimsley battle, I'd like to reflect on what happened in this run. I've lost a lot of Pokemon immediately after the 6th gym, and I really don't have anybody to deal with Grimsley's Pokemon. I have Scrafty, but he just can't deal with the whole battle on his own, so I'm left with a void that I can't fill. I end up starting the battle with Unpheasant, who easily takes out the Scrafty with a combination of Air Slash and Fly. After the Scrafty comes Crocodile. Crocodile is really easy to deal with a combination of Unpheasant and Scrafty. Scrafty, however, takes a lot of damage, so it's going to be really hard to win this battle without losing at least one Pokemon. Lightbird's next, as I decide to stay in with Scrafty. Scrafty really can't do anything against Lightbird. Lightbird first uses Fake Out. Fake Out flinches me, and on the next turn, he uses Attract, and I get immobilized by Love. Since she has Aerial Ace, it forces me to switch out into Vanillix, and I kill him with just one Ice Beam. His final Pokemon, Bisharp, is a massive problem for my team. None of my team can deal with Bisharp, and the only person who can, Scraggy, is gonna get one-shotted by any move he has. Bisharp is faster than every single one of my Pokemon, and he's a living powerhouse, meaning this is the end to my team. All of my Pokemon go down to Bisharp, losing me my Nuzlocke. This Nuzlocke loss was all my fault. I lost because I played bad and I didn't make the right moves. I'm positive that I can beat the Elite Four if I just played a little bit better. Regardless though, that's the end of my Nuzlocke. I'm gonna leave a poll in my comments section so you guys can choose what Pokemon game I play next. Thank you all for the recent support, and I'll see you all in my next Pokemon Nuzlocke.